Hi Sagittarius, welcome to your February shadow scope with me and Fraser. There we go. His toy of choice today is his favourite. Leave it, let me show them. It's his favourite crocodile. So I'm back with the videos after a long break from doing them, and I'm happy to be back because I've got a lot to share with you. I've chosen to do your sign first because your energy just pushed in the queue basically. So let's get to it. I've decided to call your video Pain and Pleasure because the insights that have been coming through before this reading have really highlighted to me that there's this precarious balance that has been happening for you during January, and well, let's face it, since your birthday, because that was your new year. You were really thinking about what it is that you wanted, what it is that you wanted to change in December last year, and really January has been a time of allowing things to percolate and allowing those goals, those ambitions, those visions to become clearer so that you know what you're working with. But some of what you've realised has been a bit painful for you, and I can feel that. I've chosen to call it Pain and Pleasure because there's a fascinating discovery in neuroscience in the last century that found I always get like a little bit goofy before I start dropping like science. Before I start saying about statistics and things like that, I start to get a bit giggly. I think it's because if I know I'm being serious, it's like, come on, you've got to be serious. And maybe that's something that you're struggling with, Sagittarius, is this fine line of kind of play and seriousness, pain and pleasure. But what I wanted to tell you is your video, Sagittarius, is called Pain and Pleasure for February this year because February is calling for you to strike a balance between tipping from one to the other, because one of the most greatest discoveries in neuroscience in the last century is that the brain processes pain and pleasure in the same area. So we've all experienced that yearning when we want a movie to continue that we're really loving, or we turn the last page of a book that we're so engrossed in and we don't want that to end. That is when the pain-pleasure balance has tipped towards the pain aspect of that part of our brain. So what does that mean? That means that we can harness that, we can command that if we understand it. And I think this is what I wanted to introduce this video about, really, is to say that this month is about noticing the pain and pleasure and noticing that you are in command of how that tips, and also kind of what it is that you experience. Therefore, I work with people all over the world to embody Empress energy. And why did I choose Empress out of all of the tarot cards? Well, there's some personal reasons, but the main reason is that the Empress archetype is about mothering ourselves, it's about nourishing ourselves, it's about healing our pain, it's about admitting things that aren't working and healing them and growing in ways that are beneficial for us. So I love to help people embody that energy because it's such an amazing energy. It not only helps their life, but it helps the people's lives around them and the world at large. So the first card that's come out for you for February is the Chariot. So the Chariot is about, essentially, also about that balance, but not of pain and pleasure. Interestingly enough, the symbolism of the Chariot is about the balance between our aggressive drives and our passionate drives, and most of us don't even ponder the link between those things. So what really grinds our gears and what really kind of gets us going in terms of being moved to act and to make a difference in our life and the world is what we're passionate about. And that anger and that passion, There's a link between those, and when we understand that link, we're better able to pursue the things that we're really destined to pursue, therefore having energy supplied to us from the universe tenfold, you know, multiple times what we kind of put out there in terms of really being aligned with what source wants us to do. We find that we have more energy to pursue projects than we thought we had. We're able to do things even though we're frightened, because we know that by creating these changes, we're creating immense change in our life, you know. So Sagittarius, this is what February is asking of you. The beginning of the month starts with a new moon, and it's also the beginning of the Chinese New Year, and it's the year of the tiger. So, what does the tiger represent to you? You know, is it a scary creature? Do you feel like, does it remind you of Rocky? I've been getting into boxing recently, so for me, the tiger reminds me of the Eye of the Tiger song and Rocky, and kind of, you know, achieving your goals and going for it and having a good time whilst you're doing it. But, you know, what does the tiger mean to you? We can look at the symbolism of tigers and we can get a deeper insight into kind of what this year holds for us. But if you know your Chinese astrology animal, then you're better able to kind of see the flavour that this year is kind of offering you. I happen to be a water pig, so because I'm a Cancer sun in traditional astrology, but in Chinese astrology I'm a water pig. And this year, the year of the tiger, the water tiger, is beneficial for water pigs. So I'm excited about, you know, putting what it is that I really care about out there, hence these videos. So there does seem to be a new position looming, Sagittarius. This is, the second card you've got is the Ace of Pentacles. So to have that followed by, have that following the Chariot suggests to me that you're in a state of reassessing what it is that you want to go for in terms of your career. Some of you could be thinking about buying a new property, buying a new home in February. Some of you might just be really considering whether or not you want to stay in your current position, whether you want to start a new business. There's definitely a shift in a new direction in terms of your material life, in terms of your home life, in terms of your career life, and it does seem to be incredibly positive. There does seem to be a call for you to be really honest about how you want your space to be, because our home is a reflection of who we are. You know, everything I have has a story behind it. It's something that means something to me, and I help clients all over the world with their feng shui as part of the Empress coaching that I do as well. It's, you know, to live like an Empress. It's not just about really honing in on that inner majesty, but it's also about kind of having our space reflect who we are internally, so that we can really create out in the world, because our space is that reflection of us. So it does seem to me, Sagittarius, that February offers you the opportunity to really fine-tune your space, because essentially that is a reflection of you fine-tuning your connection not only to yourself but to the universe. So I would definitely recommend that you really examine your routines, because I feel like, let's focus on the name of the video, because the energy that came to me before the video was very much about this swinging quite ferociously, quite strongly from pain to pleasure, and feeling almost out of control of how that happens. It's almost like it's happening to you. And what I want to help you with in February is to understand and to harness that power of that control, and know that you can harness whether you swing to the left or to the right. So for instance, getting up in the mornings is kind of coming to my mind here. That seems to be a painful experience for you at the moment. You know, some of us will say, oh, I'm not a morning person, or I'm more of a night owl, and things like that. But we can train ourselves to enjoy things that we currently find painful or have once found painful. So if you do find mornings difficult, February is asking you to really harness the power of a magical morning. So how can you make your mornings more magical, Sagittarius? That would be something that you could really work on in terms of your shadow work, because so many people just want to when they get up in the morning, they just want to put the covers straight over their head because they don't want to deal with the day. It all seems too much, and that is a reflection of kind of the health of your solar plexus chakra, how you greet the day. So one of the best ways to increase our confidence and work with our solar plexus is to start our day well. So one of my dear Sagittarius friends, she loves to swim in the mornings, but I know that recently she's fallen out of the habit of going to those swimming classes in the morning, and she loves it. She has a fantastic day at the office when she starts her day with a swim. She knows this, but she's just been so snowed under with things recently that she hasn't been able to commit to that routine. Well, Sagittarius, February is very different. It seems to me that you won't let anything or anyone stand in the way of you making sure that you are good and that you are solid every morning and every day to achieve what it is that you want to, because there seems to be a lot of exciting things going on in February for you. So I've got Niles and Fraser both playing with their toys in the background, so you'll have to excuse the noise if it's disturbing you. I'm sorry. With me comes these two. So there does seem to be a lot of exciting projects to look forward to in February, new opportunities to increase your wealth and your abundance, and more opportunities for you to increase your happiness and your confidence. But it does require you to be honest with yourself, Sagittarius, about what it is that needs to fall away, what it is that needs to change. With the Tower energy in February, be prepared to notice people being fake, where perhaps you might have suspected that people's intentions were pure or as good as yours. You may find in February that people that you had a slight suspicion of show their true intentions, and I feel that it's not anything towards you. It's something that you observe perhaps in the office or perhaps in a circle of friends situation. You observe that actually they've been portraying a completely different persona to actually what's going on with them. So I don't see it affecting you on a personal level, but I do see it affecting you in the sense where it gives you even more determination to be authentic and to express your truth and to say when you're upset, to say when you're in pain, because so many of us we just hide that, or we distract it, you know. We're in a world at the moment that is full of dopamine opportunities. You know, so many of us suffer with addiction just to our phone, never mind anything else. And it's the dopamine kind of addiction to our phones and to technology is, you know, it can feel like a buzz when we're kind of engaging in things like that. But essentially we're draining our energy for other things that we could be pursuing in terms of really altering our life in a way that we benefit from further down the road. You know, if you're looking for a brilliant book to read that really helps you to get in touch with this capacity to make great changes in your life, I would highly recommend a book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And the title of the book kind of gives you the amazing magic of what this book is about. It's looking at the tiniest habits that we've got, looking at the tiniest, the most atomic level, the smallest level of the things we do every day, and by changing the smallest of things creates the longest and most lasting and greater changes further down the road. And it's actually far easier and more accessible, I think, to make changes if we start small. And so many of us just wake up, we're like, right, I'm doing this, I'm changing this, but then we can kind of exhaust ourselves and make rash decisions, and we're more susceptible to reacting rather than responding. And the key to February for you is to respond, to observe. You know, observe what other people are doing, but check in with yourself that actually that what you're agreeing to is suiting you. Venus is going direct at the beginning of February, so thankfully any relationship issues that have been troubling you, they should hopefully start to, you know, reflect a more smooth sailing journey now that both of you can take. If you've been waiting to speak to somebody about a particular issue, it seems like February is a great time to initiate those conversations. You've got the Wheel of Fortune here as well. So this does suggest to me that you can be quite lucky in February, but it is about your mindset. If you're waking up each day and, you know, leaning more towards being pessimistic and expecting things to go wrong, you will slow down your luck and you will slow down your success. And I really don't want that for you, Sagittarius, because if you expect amazing things to be around the corner and trust that you'll find magic around the corner,